Yo, Ryan here from the Firearm Files, co-host Isaiah. This is Travis. How you doing, guys?
What's up, buddy?
Doing good.
What's up, buddies?
Yeah, so this is big episode. It's episode number 3. And
Number 3.
what makes this special is that we have Travis Haley with us. Wait, no.
I'm kidding. Wait,
I wish.
Travis Haley, where's this guy? Travis Haley, if you're out there, you can, by all means, hop on our podcast anytime. Just shoot me a direct text if you want, dude. I'll text you right back.
Yeah.
My beard's still better, though. So
You do have a good beard. Beard's strong.
You're strong.
So, Travis, man, we're so happy to have you on board
pumped to be
here. How do you, let's just do a little intro here. Tell us about you, how you know us, and yeah, let's start there.
So Ryan, I just met. But I've known you pretty much since I turned 21, and I'm 31, so at least 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah, you sold me my first handgun the day I turned 21.
Yep.
And then lost track of you for a little bit, and then just bumped into you at the outdoor show a couple weeks ago, and here we are.
Yeah,
We
so
are here.
you've, that was back at the old shop. Mm-hmm. That was a long, yeah. So you bought guns from me then, and I know you and your dad would come in, like, regularly. Mm-hmm. That's what I remember from you guys, and,
Yeah, from 21 to like 25, like,
yeah.
I was buying guns. That was my thing.
3 months or so stopping in.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys were good customers, good regular dudes, which I always appreciated. Your dad, too, was also just really respectful, mellow dude. And
Yeah.
did you guys buy some Daniel defenses?
He did.
That's what I thought.
Yep.
I thought I
Yep.
sold a Daniel to one of you guys.
Yep,
but
he did. Yep.
A Daniel Boone?
Daniel Boone.
Daniel Boone.
It's a freaking good
Nice.
gun. I still have that. Swapped a couple things out on it, but still have it.
Awesome, man.
Heck yeah.
Let's talk about our weeks. How was your week?
It was.
Let's talk about Friday.
Yeah, it was something. Was that Friday?
That was
It
Friday.
was Friday. Yeah, Friday wasn't such a great day. I mean, woke up, everything was normal. Went out to feed my chickens, and I had 9 chickens. It was 8 hens and 1 rooster. Started with 12. I've lost a few, but
8 chicks and a cock.
yeah. Went out to their pen, and normally they're right at the door, and they were not. Opened the door, and there's just, it looked like Ukraine bodies everywhere. Like,
Bloodbath.
Massacre.
and so I figure a fox got in there and took them all out, and then one of the bodies was gone, so I figure he took it and ate it. But it was, it's Friday. Let me put it this way. I called off work. I was like, I don't want to be around people today. It would not be good.
Perfect.
That was the down part of our week,
That is a bummer.
you know?
Let's talk about the up part.
Yeah.
All right? We got some big news, buddy.
We have big news.
Huge news. We are now a licensed federal firearms licensee. Let's show it to the camera.
Yeah, here we
Oh,
go.
yeah.
Show the license right
Yes.
there. So,
We are a federal.
the Firearm Files,
Licensed
you can now find the Firearm Files on Google search. You'll find our website, thefirearmfiles.com. And we are a licensed FFL dealer set up to sell and ship and buy firearms. We can do anything.
That's awesome.
Let's go.
Yep. It's been a work in progress, but so happy to finally have that license in hand. And
awesome.
it went really smoothly with the ATF. Everything
did.
was really well.
Dude, we have the best ATF agent. She is.
It's not a she. Okay? It's not a she.
No, but we've been talking about having a female ATF agent. It's like, oh, could you imagine having like
You never know.
a doe of an ATF agent?
This is what you're always thinking about. You know?
It sounds like you're looking for more than paperwork.
The
I'm on the prowl,
The
okay?
ATF is not a dating agency, okay? The ATF regulates guns.
No, but it should be a convenience store.
It should.
That is true, yeah.
Should be.
Every time I look at like ATF paperwork, I'm like, swipe left, swipe right.
Nice.
Tinder, but for gun guys.
Yeah, right? How's your week, Travis?
Pretty good. I'm just pumped to be here. I like jokingly
Nice.
said to him at the outdoor show, like, hey, I'd love to come on, especially after reconnecting and kind of hearing what you guys are trying to do and like more of the blue collar gun guy kind of podcast, which I'm blue collar through and through, so that's like perfect for me. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
I like
So what did you get into this week in your personal life?
So I've been doing a lot of work with a pole building company. We've been doing the barn dominiums or like the hot thing right now.
Oh, yeah.
So they're pole builders primarily. I got hooked up with them, so they put the shell up, and then I kind of manage the interior stuff, the interior framing, the drywall, the electric, managing the subs, and kind of GCing that for them, because that's new territory for them, because they just stick a pole building up and walk away, and that's kind of what they're used to. So this is new territory, but it's the background I come from residentially, so it's been working out good. We got 3 projects going on right now, so it's been keeping me busy.
That's busy work right there, man. 3 projects to manage it all at once.
And they're not close. Like, one's Lehighton, the other one's up in Delano, so they're about an hour from my house, so I spend a good bit of time in the truck.
I don't know about you, buddy. I can handle 2 projects at once. You can barely handle 1. You get sidetracked so quick.
No, my problem
You're
is,
blonde. That's
let's
your
be
problem.
honest, bud, that, like, I'm wired to get what I'm doing done.
True.
If I add too many things, too many tasks, I'm just like, look, I'm getting nowhere right now. I need to focus on getting one thing done at a time. That's just how my brain works.
You're wired.
But it works, dude.
You like squirrel out on one thing at a time, then you just
it works.
separate
It works.
everything.
I get it done. You know what I mean? Get it done.
So, what'd you look at the outdoor show?
Um,
What was your favorite booth?
It's a pretty close tie between, I'm a huge Colt fan, so the Colt booth was pretty good this year. I like seeing them getting back into the Revolver game. I'd like to see them up their production a little bit and get some more 1911s out there, because they're pretty elusive. You try and find one of those, but it's still like looking and seeing what they have to offer. So I picked up an Anaconda last year, so they did a good job with it. I was impressed. Like, when you hear a company remaking something, you're like, it ain't gonna be the same, but machine works really good. I mean, you spin that cylinder and it's like just running on glass.
like glass.
Yeah, it's really nice. So that's probably my favorite, with a close second being, you want to talk about the Taylor and Company, the old Wild West guns. So I
What a
like a lot of their
beauty.
stuff too.
I do love that Taylor and Company booth that they have up there.
That was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
We got some good pictures.
Yeah, and I think their
nice.
remakes are just incredible,
Yeah.
what they're doing.
I have one of it's the Cattleman, but it's the Taylor tune, so it's the short action one. So I mean,
It's
it's
1873.
yeah,
Cattleman.
45 long Colt, and it's case hardened finish. It's fast. Trigger is gorgeous. They do a really nice job with
They
it.
do.
Yeah, exactly.
What were you into up there, man?
Dude, I like Sig. Sig and Smith and Wesson. Smith and Western.
Yeah,
They
I
had
feel
some
like
nice booths.
I feel like Sig was going after that, like, let's keep it dark and dungy feel in
Yeah.
their booth, and it
Yeah.
was kind of like more like younger. They're going after the younger market for sure.
You have to when you're in the military.
Yeah, that's what
Contracts,
they're.
That's
you
a
know.
good point,
You
yeah.
got to keep marketing a little bit different.
And I mean, honestly, like the spear and stuff they had up there was
Hot.
freaking sick,
Hot.
and they had everything with suppressors on them.
Yep.
Which I was kind of like, what if somebody took the suppressor off the quick
And they were
attach?
serialized too.
I know. That's I'm
They're,
like,
they're legit cans on there.
that seemed dangerous, but maybe I don't know how they attach it that they can't take it because
Should I grab the one I took? Huh? Wait, what?
hey yo,
No.
yeah, let's not.
What booths did you guys not like? What was a big letdown?
So for me, it wasn't so much I didn't like the booth, but a letdown was that new Mossberg with the safety on the side.
Yeah.
I saw videos from SHOT Show, and I'm a Mossberg guy through and through when it comes to pump guns. I absolutely love them. Shot them through a couple classes. Like, they run. But that one, I got my hands on it and manipulated the safety a little bit, and I'm like, this is not, like, ergonomic. You guys didn't think about this at all, and just wasn't a huge fan. Was kind of disappointed.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say the booth was a disappointment, but, like, their new thing this year was kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
What about you, buddy?
I don't have any clue, man. I was just trying to think like what disappointed me. I was at the show. I worked it for 7 days, and then I was sick after the show because you can't not get sick when you're around that
them
many
people,
people.
yeah.
So
Got the Moose Cup.
The Moose Cup.
I'm kind of like I'm all showed out, and honestly, after I left that show, I was like, I'm kind of more disappointed that I had to talk to as many people as I did. To be honest,
That was pretty annoying.
it's really annoying.
And you didn't even talk to people. You're like, hey, you
Yeah,
want to
you're
sign
just-
this paper? No? Good chat. Have a good one, bud.
Yeah, cool. Thanks for
Cool.
walking past me and not
Yep,
signing up for a
yep.
free gun
All
giveaway.
right, guy.
But no, it's I think the show was cool. What I was trying to think of was like, why was Benelli not there?
They're never there.
Benelli wasn't there. Glock's never there.
Never.
But why? Why would you not attend a show?
Springfield's never there?
They're too high class.
Yeah, well, Glocks and Benellis are always going to sell.
Right. They don't need to.
Benelli's
They
imported.
don't need marketing.
You don't need
all.
to do anything.
I don't know about that, but
You know who else doesn't need marketing? Ruger.
Why is that?
Everybody loves a Ruger American rifles.
Ruger-
They will always sell. Always.
Yeah, Ruger's brand
We know
recognition.
from like personal experience. Ruger
Yeah.
American rifles, they sell.
yeah.
Yep.
The new, they're on the 2.0 version now, or
Yeah,
whatever they call
Gen
it.
2.
They're pretty nice. I was checking one out at a local gun shop to me the other week, and I was like, "You guys made some good improvements. You
Yeah.
done
Yeah,
good."
you work the bolt, it doesn't sound like a zip tie.
Correct. Yeah. And it's still an affordable bolt action rifle for people.
I
Like,
would take that over Savage Axis any day.
absolutely.
Oh, heck yeah.
So
Imagine putting Night Force on a Savage Axis.
Which we talked about last
We
episode.
did talk about that.
We've done that before. We've done that.
it was a good sale.
Yeah, it was a really good sale.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm trying to think what else was disappointing up there. So we said Mossberg. Yeah, slight disappointment.
Yeah.
I said, again, not the booth, but like their newest product. That
What about the
everybody was
Dodge girls?
Yeah, the Dodge girls were coming around, dude.
They were.
They were. There was consistently 2 or 3 of them that wanted to hang out at my booth for some reason.
I wonder why.
I don't know why. I ask myself this question.
You're
Why?
You're rotten.
Who knows? Who knows?
Old does.
But who knows? Anyhow, why are we talking about Dodge girls? Anyways, we're going to change the subject here. Something we want to do on the podcast now. We're just going to kind of introduce this and roll with the flow here. So
Here we are.
we thought it'd be awesome to share a Bible verse during the podcast. And you guys read your Bibles at all? Be honest. Not really, right?
Time to time,
Yeah.
I'll dabble.
I'm a 2 to 3 times a week, not every day.
That's good,
but
though.
I
That's
dabble.
good.
Try and get a couple times a week in.
Yeah. So this verse I read this morning, and I thought it was a cool verse. So 1 John chapter 3, verse 16. We know love by this, that he laid down his life for us, and we ought to lay down our lives for the brethren.
I like it. The brethren.
I think the brethren. How cool is that?
Brethren?
The brethren.
Oh, I thought you said a brothel. Sorry.
Not the Get your mind clear.
Hey, no.
Still on the doze.
Yeah.
Wait,
Get
what?
the mind clear. But yeah, man, I thought that's
I
a
like
really
that.
cool verse.
Yeah. It's kind of fitting for the industry.
It really does.
It's like
It
a
actually-
community.
Yeah, and the military community, and any one of us that actually decide that we're going to conceal carry, and you determine that I feel comfortable carrying a gun to protect myself and others around me.
Yeah, it's a decision you have to make for yourself.
Absolutely.
Yep. I was telling a new guy the other day, I was selling like a Glock 2, and he's like, he was real nervous. He's like, I have no experience with guns, and so I'm like, okay, well, let's get some in your hand, see what you like for feel. So we're going through different manufacturers and stuff, and then I'm like, dude, like, do me a favor, like, don't just get your weapons permit and carry this loaded. Like, actually train with it. Know what you're doing before you do that, because the second you put a firearm on you, it's like, if you, church security, for example, if you're going to carry a gun in church, you better be prepared that if a shootout happens, you're prepared to take a life.
You
Like,
need to make that decision for yourself if you're willing or able to live with that for the rest of your life. If you can't deal with that responsibility, you shouldn't be carrying it.
And you got to be a asset, not a liability. So, like in his case, not shooting a lot. Like you buy that and you go shoot a lot, because if you do need to use it, you need to be an asset and not a liability to the situation, whatever the situation may be.
Like, you don't go out and buy Snap-on tools and never use them. Why invest
The
money
same
in
way
that?
buying a Snap-on tool doesn't make you a master mechanic.
That is true.
correct.
I
So
can
having a
sell
good-
you an Atlas, but you will never shoot like you are supposed to.
Ironically, this customer walked by as I'm selling this guy, and he goes, hey, man, what you need is a P365 XG Legion, because it will take you from being a poor shooter to an amazing shooter.
False.
And I was like, okay, let's
Wrong.
That does not check out.
That I don't know. I don't know what you think, man, because you sell guns too. It's like you're trying to talk to a customer. It's a one-on-one, or even if he's got a buddy there, or this guy had his dad, right? It's 1-on-2 conversation. But then when a guy comes in and just literally goes like this, listens to what you're saying, and just kind of pops his head in,
Yeah. God, it's so annoying.
it is annoying, dude.
It's
I'm
like, keep your
come
comments to
on.
yourself.
Come on, man. Yeah. But yeah, what else do we? What's our next topic here, buddy? So
I don't know. I kind of lost track.
okay, so Travis.
Aren't we giving gifts? Isn't that the next
Yeah.
Let's do
do
gifts.
that. I forgot about
Our
that.
guest is on.
I forgot about it.
Well, you got the print really big, so I can read it. So
Oh, good. You're not like Isaiah. You got to put your glasses on.
Yeah, let's just calm down with the jokes, okay?
I used to wear glasses and I got LASIK. So
So my eyes are kind of screwed up because I was shot in this eye with an airsoft gun when I was a kid.
ooh,
So we thought it was fun. Like me and a neighbor boy we would play speedball behind the house where we had this wood pile and we're like 10 feet away from each other, just shooting over the top, you know?
Hey, it's better than getting gun blowing in your eye.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But you know, it was one of those things where like we took that battle from there into the garage. And that was when the eyeglasses were off. The neighbor boy was kind of upset that I beat him. And then he walked in the garage and just shot me from like 8 feet away. And it hit me right in the eye.
It would have been a bloodbath.
So from there on, it was
Yeah.
like kind of blurry and it wasn't good. So I'm blaming it on that. I'm blaming the vision problems on that guy.
Where's
you
that
know?
guy now?
yeah. I was gonna say, do we need to
He's in Lancaster. Actually, ironically, I was in his wedding a few years ago. So
We should really give a nice shout out, and
yeah, shout out to Nick.
we'll let the fans take care of
Shout
the
out
rest.
to you. Yeah.
We'll let the fans take care of the rest.
quick break? We'll be right back.
No, there's all love for you, Nick. I know you made a poor decision in that moment, and I'm sure that I made poor decisions like that at times
You've
too.
made plenty of
A lot of poor decisions, so it's no problem. But let's get to our gifts, man.
Yeah, let's get to the
So
gifts.
Ryan, I got you something when I was up at the outdoor show because we joke around about the Daniel Boone rifles. So of course they had the Daniel Boone hats up there. So I thought one of these episodes you can wear the hat, make sure it
I
fits.
was saying, make sure it fits. You're gonna be really warm in that hat.
You are nice. Yeah.
Dude, this is awesome.
Dude, I like the tail like goes like out the side, not out the back.
It keeps hitting my eye.
I think you're supposed to actually let it down the back.
I like it on the side. It's like a ponytail.
Okay.
Side ponytail.
Yeah, that's kind of don't girls do side ponytails? Whatever. Whatever.
There you
Yeah,
go.
rotate it
There you
around.
go.
Anyways, Travis, I apologize. I don't have a hat for you any different than a Trigicon hat, but
That works for me. Free hat's a free hat.
we are going to get hats built up at some point with our patch in them, and then I will shoot you a message and get you one because it's kind of a weak gift. But
Ironically, I brought free hats for you guys as well.
love it, dude. Cryptech.
Yeah, good old Richardson's.
Nice.
Shameless plug for my business. That's my business logo on there. So
Yeah, show it
Little
off.
shout out to the cameras.
all things construction and contracting.
There you go. So if you're in the Lancaster, Berks, Pennsylvania area, reach out to Travis Kohler Contracting.
That's right.
You have a website?
I don't.
Nope.
I have an Instagram
Cool.
page that goes with the business.
Okay. So that's the way to contact you through the Instagram.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's one way. Yeah, my phone
So
number's on there. So
We'll do a little clip from this. We'll tag your business in it that way.
T Kohler Contracting LLC.
I like it.
Sweet.
And,
And
the
also-
embroidering is amazing, dude.
Yeah.
Also, I'm a big cigar connoisseur, so I brought these along for you fellers.
nice.
They're
Sweet.
my favorite, so you can enjoy them.
Yeah. What is it? Tell us. You said it's your favorite, but what kind?
So it's made by a company Drew Estate, and it's called The Girl with No Name. So they used to have a line called El Natural, then they discontinued that line, and this is kind of the replacement. So kind of just a full
It smells like black pepper.
tobacco. Yeah, they're I don't want to say aggressive, but it's not like it ain't no Swisher Sweet.
Is it like a? Is it Maduro?
Yeah, it's a Maduro wrapper.
Maduro.
So yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
prefer. So good cup
I
of
know
coffee, a
nothing
little
about
bit.
cigars.
Well, good coffee or a good little bit of bourbon to go with that pairs up. Real
I'm just
nice.
gonna say this. I'm glad it's a Maduro because that's the only term I know with cigars.
You got
Yeah, it's
Maduro.
like-
I don't know much
Is it a
either.
Maduro?
It
You're like,
is.
yeah, man. I'm like, yeah, I knew that.
it
Let's
is.
go.
You got Connecticut wrapper, which is the light color wrapper. Then you got Maduro. That's the darker color wrapper. So
Sweet.
Okay. Nice.
Very nice.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, I
We like it.
appreciate
No
you,
problem.
Travis.
We like it.
I'm pumped that you came on this episode, and let's get into some gun talk, man.
Gun talk.
Oh, I like it.
So we've got we do a break every about 20 minutes or so.
Yeah.
But let's start to get into it. So talk to us about the gun that you brought today.
Okay.
That you were carrying.
So it's already been cleared for the safety people. This is the first gun that you ever sold me. It's a Colt railgun, 45 ACP. It's been used and abused. It's had a pretty hard life. I've shot a couple classes with it, and then I don't even know how many rounds on my own. Changing out the sights because I didn't like the factory sights. Got the front strap checkered because Colt doesn't do that from the factory for some reason. So, Wilson Combat Battle Sight, good shelf in the back to hook onto. Yeah, I carry it and I shoot it a ton. So,
Daily carry piece right there.
yeah. And the only thing internally that's been changed is Wilson Combat flat wire recoil spring. That's the only thing inside it that's been touched. So
she shoots like a dream.
yeah,
Yep.
pretty well worn. Yeah.
We like guns. Let's just do a little ASMR.
Yes.
Yeah, this thing has a lot of
holster wear, a lot of rounds through it. Yeah, it's a well seasoned gun.
Yeah, but the
that's
thing
a good.
is,
It's a tool, man.
Correct, and
That's a
that's
good thing.
People balk at me when I pull that out of the holster and see what I do to it.
It's smooth.
It's high round
That-
count.
Feel that.
It's high round count.
How many rounds do you estimate you have through it?
yeah, I like it.
Whoa, that's a little chaotic ASMR over there, buddy.
Fast racking.
You know how it's gonna be with me. It's chaotic, bud. What's the trigger like?
It's
You
pretty
mind?
good. Yeah, no, go ahead. It's a tool. How about it? It's a 19.
To anybody that says you can't dry fire 1911, you are a freaking idiot.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
sure.
hate hearing that.
they're tools. Like, I would say, oh man, if I'm estimating round count, I would say probably 10K or maybe a little north of that. Like I bought it the day I turned 21, so I've had it for 10, 11 years now. And like when I go to the range, that gun always gets shot. So whether that's for a class or just 50 rounds or 100 rounds at a shot for my own amusement. But yeah, a lot of time with this gun.
I think it's a good point to make is that when you buy a carry piece, and I tell people this, like, commit to that gun, whatever you choose, and then work it out with that gun. Figure it out. Like, you did the front strap checking, you changed the sights, a recoil spring.
Yep.
You got it to where it's tuned up. It's like any Glock that I carry, there's a couple modifications that I make to every gun that I have.
Right.
But the carry guns, it's like the Glock 19, it has wear on it.
Little hockey tape.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do the tape on your Walther and
Yeah,
stuff.
man.
You get it to where it's like it's a perfect precision piece.
It doesn't look precision.
It doesn't.
But it's precise,
It ain't
man.
no precision, but
They work.
It's all in the hand.
Freaky dicky. We are back.
I like it.
the Daniel Boone hat.
Daniel Boone hat.
Dude, that song always gets me. Always does, man. I like it.
Dude, I feel like one of them guys that gets a haircut with a little ponytail in the back of their head.
It's like classier than a mullet. Like, real good.
I don't think it's classy at all. It's like it's
Classy.
like,
I
hey,
like it.
No, it's
it's kind of like, hey, buddy, your barber missed a spot. Do you want me to tell you or not?
so on air. Would you be offended if I come over with a pair of scissors and cut it?
My Daniel Boone hat?
Yeah.
Don't touch the Daniel Boone.
Dude, you will get a solid lead treatment
Nice.
From the Daniel Boone rifle.
from
There
the
we go.
Daniel Boone rifle, Mark 18,
Yep.
baby.
You just hear me run off screen as I run out into the
Just
street
run
to
around
get
the
away.
corner.
Yeah.
And
Yep. Not cool, Rhino.
So,
Travis, talk to us about
Yes.
what's your backstory. I know you said about like kind of how you got started in shooting, but talk to us about your backstory. Give us a little more detail on your
on me.
where
on you
started.
and your backstory. Yeah.
So grew up in a family that hunted. My grandfather hunted. My dad hunted. All my uncles, all his brothers. So that was kind of my exposure to guns, like hunting rifles, shotguns, a few handguns here and there, but like the like combative or tactical or even like self-defense style shooting or even carrying really wasn't like, it wasn't frowned upon, but it wasn't like done. Like my dad didn't carry that much. it was strictly pretty much hunting stuff like that. And then right as I was getting to 18, starting to get interested in guns, fell into the old Magpul training videos, like the OG ones. And that kind of sucked me in. And so the day I turned 21, I was buying handguns and carrying, and then it kind of had the reverse effect. Like after I did that, like my dad bought a concealed carry handgun, we would train together. I bought an AR, then he went and bought an AR, so it kind of had the reverse effect. But nice. I just, it always fit, and it wasn't a hard sell to him. It was just like the same thing with the way he grew up. It was very much hunting guns, not defensive or even just like fun guns. It was they were just hunting tools. So I kind of branched out, and I like them for defense, and I like them for fun. And
it was different times, though. You think back when you were like 18 to 21 in that time frame?
Yeah.
It was.
I way overpaid for my first AR.
Well, it's like
I did too. I did too.
Was concealed carry as popular back then as it is now?
No, and
No.
I think
Like
that was
nobody
the thing.
talked about it.
No,
like,
and you were actually looked at as being a weirdo.
yeah.
Even
were.
like my dad's generation stuff, like it
you're
wasn't talked about. It wasn't a thing. Like,
Yeah, it's like you're paranoid to go outside the house with a gun.
right.
Yeah. And actually, I think it took for you. Like your story is you got into it because those Magpul videos were a big deal. Magpul, like Chris Costa, Travis Haley,
Yeah.
those videos that they did
Yeah.
were insane in drawing people into the industry and actually realizing, hey, we should be more prepared in life. Like get the proper training. That was a big deal. And then there was Corey and Eric on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Huge.
Yeah.
With growing the industry.
Yep.
But you got into it, and then you had that young mindset, and then it kind of shifted your dad into that mindset as well.
Yep. Yeah.
For me growing up, my dad has zero interest in guns to this day. And he would look at me and be like, "You're crazy,
That's
man.
wild.
You're crazy." He'd be like, in fact, he told me I got my first gun gifted to me when I was. You watch yourself. There's many things we could say about my dad. We're not going to say in the air, but you know, I got my first rifle gifted to me when I was 15, and that was for hunting on the farm that my grandparents had. But
What kind of gun?
I would say what kind
Savage 93 R17 classic model.
Is that the one is that the one we took out squirrel hunting?
Yeah.
Hey, yo.
First gun. Yeah, Grandpa was like, I want to buy you this gun.
Oh, that's-
I want to buy you a
that's
gun.
cool, yeah.
You know?
That's cool.
And then but when you picked it out, we went into this little shop. We picked it out of a black and white catalog.
That's awesome.
Like, that's how we bought it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like,
And
let's go to
man.
Kmart. Let's
Yeah.
order this
Well,
machine gun
order
for
this belt fed
$36.
right from Sears.
Well, here's the
Yeah.
thing. We went to multiple shops. We ended up, there was a shop called Trout Run Sports, which is now Musser's.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Trout Run Sports, I remember we went there and we told the guy, we're like, hey, looking for a gun. And he goes, can't help you, don't have it in stock. And my grandfather wanted to get me a wood stock rifle. It was for groundhogs. It's what we had. We had groundhogs everywhere. So he's like, I want to get you something that you can pass down to your kids someday and keep it something that's a memento, right? But the first shop that I went to, they were like, no, we can't help you. We don't do anything with wood guns. Everything we get synthetic.
Lame.
I'll sell you a $200 Savage. That's what they try to do. And it's like, my grandfather's like, no, we're good. So we ended up at this little shop in Richland Shooter Sports. And this older guy behind the counter was so cool. He's like, oh, I don't have it here, but I can get you whatever you want. So he pulled it up. He told us about the Savage. And it was, at the time, like a $380 gun. And then he gave us recommendations on the scope, and we did the whole thing, and he put it together, and it was awesome. But he was willing to help. First shop didn't even care.
Nice.
Lost the business.
That's right.
Losers be losers.
Losers be losers.
And there's still a place for wood and blued guns.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
there is. Yes, there is.
Absolutely.
You're not really into them.
I love them.
I mean, we have a wood and blue gun right in front of us here.
I'm a collector. I love
You are.
wood and bluing.
Yep.
Case colors.
Yeah, and we're gonna talk about this absolute stud in front of us. Then
It's. You want to talk about it now?
we should.
We should talk
You
about
referenced
Talk
it,
about
and
it.
he
We
referenced
should.
the case hardened finish,
we
so you
gotta-
almost have to.
Yeah. Hold it up to the camera. Talk about it, bud.
Show it off.
You go
You're-
after
You
it.
got the Daniel Boone
This
hat
is
anyway,
your-
so like
This is your duty now.
out on out on the plains.
This is my duty. So this is a Henry original 4440 octagonal barrel, case color, receiver, high grade wood stock.
That thing's gorgeous.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So what makes that unique is they call it the iron frame model.
Yeah.
So
And
the case coloring on that receiver, most times when you see the original Henry rifles, you're going to see them with the brass, or they'll do engraved models, special edition.
Yeah, just like a regular steel, but this is case colored, which is
absolutely
gorgeous.
Dude, hold it up for the camera just so that people can appreciate also that walnut grade, because that's
the grain
stock is gorgeous
is
too.
phenomenal.
Yep, and the curved metal butt plate at the back is also the matching
Yeah.
case colored. But also flip that sight up, dude. That is so cool.
Oh,
Man.
So cool.
And what, 4440?
4440.
Yep.
And that's awesome.
So you're the encyclopedia. Give us some history in the 4440.
Dude, 4440 is like, that's an old round, man. Mm-hmm. I think it started off as a black powder round, but it's...
Yeah, I think you're correct.
It's a
old.
sweet round. I think it's prior to the 4570.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
Yeah, I would agree
Yeah.
with you.
But it's just really sweet. Back then, when I used to load them by dram and not by grain weight of powder. Mm-hmm. Check that thing out, man.
That's freaking sweet.
Yeah. You handle a little bit, you know? Put your
So this,
prints on there.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's got a falling block to it.
This thing's just gorgeous.
This firearm is available for anyone that's interested.
True.
They can reach out through either our website or the information below. We're licensed FFL, so we can send this out to an FFL near you if you're interested.
Yeah, that's gorgeous.
There's also videos on our YouTube channel showing this gun the full 360, so check those out if you're interested in seeing that. I think the biggest thing for me, I look at that, and that walnut grade right there of stock they use, the actual lumber is just stunning.
And if you know the work that goes into doing case color,
Oof.
you take like superheated metal and you dip it in a tank of oxygenated water, and it has to be at the correct temperature without warping the steel. It's like it's a craft.
It's an art.
It's
Mad
a full
scientist kind of
craft.
thing.
Yeah, it's pretty intense.
So one interesting thing I know with some of the lever guns and stuff is you had like your 45 long Colts, your 4440s. Guys would carry those because everybody's like, oh, it's something new, like the pistol caliber carbines. No. There's nothing new under the sun. Like they were doing that. They were doing that then because hey, my pistol's 4440, so I want something with a longer sight radius. So you get yourself a rifle in 4440. So
Yeah. This would be definitely an accurate shooting gun that if you were
I really want to shoot it, man.
cowboys and Indians kind of thing, this would be a shooter that you could definitely take a long-range shot with.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why that rear sight on there, if you look at that,
You got all your different yardage on there.
you do have your different yardage adjustments so you can compensate by lifting the barrel on that gun to fire higher.
pretty sweet.
Compensate for the drop,
To
which is...
lob them rounds out there.
Yeah. It's just so cool. It's such an iconic gun that when you and I talked about what gun are we going to put out here for this episode, I was
There's
like,
nothing
"Oh,
cooler than this thing, man.
we got to put this gun out.
Of what we have right now.
The
This
history
is-
and the lever guns. Yeah, it's
Yep.
what was it the Confederate general said about the Henrys? It's the damn Yankee rifle you load on Sunday and shoot till Friday or something or something like that.
Yeah, well, think about the evolution of, in war times, when they finally got to the lever action, now they had a repeating gun that you could not fire one round and reload. Like, you could fire multiples, and it totally changed. I mean, sorry to the Indians, because it didn't really...
Sorry, homies.
Yeah, unless they got a hold of some lever guns, they were kind of screwed.
Yeah.
But
You know what I really want to do with this gun? I just want to go out to and shoot a water buffalo.
that'd be cool. These things are beasts, dude.
I just want to shoot a water buffalo.
I don't know if that would be the gun of choice for that. Though.
No, that's my gun of choice, man.
That's
Could
it.
you pick a better gun other than this?
Well, you got to
Shoot a
understand.
buffalo.
I know you just met him earlier, Travis, but this guy would actually not just use that gun, but he'd wear that hat to shoot a water buffalo.
Well, that's a given. That has to happen. You can't separate the two of them.
It's happening. That is summer, sweating my head off with my little ponytail in the back, but whatever.
Yeah,
It works.
it does work. So what a beautiful gun. Reach out to the Firearm Files if you're interested in that and want some help on it. That's an awesome collector's piece right there. or something you can hang on the wall for sure. So let's move on here, bud. Let's talk about the next topic here. Travis, something that I want to know is, we talked about your daily carries, the 1911, which I'm only assuming you've got to carry cocked and locked.
Of course.
Of course. There's no other way to carry.
Condition 1.
That's right.
Yeah. These guys that are like, yeah, I carry Israeli. I'm like, okay, just take your gun out and put it away, okay? Yeah.
It's like carrying it on an empty chamber.
Yeah,
like,
that's...
Just like trying to put your seatbelt on before you get in an accident.
Oh, yeah.
That's a really
Doesn't
good analogy
work,
to
man.
use. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
cocked
no
and
good.
locked.
Cocked and locked.
The way our St. John Moses Browning wanted it to be.
Yes.
Yep. So just let's talk about your training a little bit, because I know you do training classes and you've fired a lot of rounds to that gun. So training is something that we don't talk about enough, but it's the most important part of owning a firearm.
Absolutely.
If you don't shoot it, you lose it.
You do.
Or if you're new to guns, you need to train to learn good habits for handling guns. So it goes both ways. Like, if you don't keep up with it, you lose it. But if you never have it to begin with, you need to train that stuff into yourself.
You got to keep comfortable with it, have good habits.
Yeah, starting with bad habits is probably the worst thing you can have.
Yeah, be very picky about who you pick as an instructor.
Yes,
Correct.
Very much so.
Yep. So talk to us about, what have you done for instruction? What classes have you taken? Where have you traveled to?
So most of them have been PA. Not as of recently. That's one of my, I wouldn't say New Year's resolutions, but I want to take a couple classes this year and kind of get back into it. But shot 3 levels of pistol classes. The way the company that I shot with works is they do like a 101, a 102, and a 103 is kind of like your tiers. So I shot the 101 with that pistol, which is a 1-day class, kind of like the basics and a little bit of moving, but like very much the basics, your grip, your trigger, your sights. And then shot the 2nd level class, which is a 2-day, so much higher round count. You start moving around, start shooting around barriers. I'm picking up 8 mags after the drill's over because I'm shooting a single stack. Everybody else is shooting a Glock or something like that with a double stack, so they're going out and picking up two magazines, and I'm out there like, hang on, guys, let me just clean up my mess for you. But what was interesting about that, I shot the entry-level class a 2nd time because a couple of my buddies wanted to do it, and they're like, hey, shoot this with us. And I'm like, well, I already did it. They're like, do it again. So, okay, fine. So I actually went and I shot the class with a 686 plus, a 357 revolver. So just something different. The instructor kind of chuckled at me. I knew the guy pretty well, so he was a good sport about it. But everybody was going around and saying what they were supposed to be shooting, and gets to me and 686 plus, 357. The instructor just kind of, yeah, you're fine, whatever. But so did a couple pistol classes, did an AR class with them, did 2 levels of shotgun classes. They do the same thing, 101, 102 for the shotguns. And then I did a medical class through them as well. So that's kind of the extent of my training. And it was all with a company local. The company I train with, they're not in business anymore, but the people from that company are now at another company in PA. So I'll be training probably with the same people when I do it again. And then the other thing is, when I shoot on my own time, depending on who I'm shooting with, sometimes it'll be plinking. But if I'm shooting by myself or with just my wife or close family, we're shooting to train. There's no, we're not, tin cans are fun and all, but if we're shooting all together, we're going to be doing some moving arounds. We're going to be calling some shots. We're going to be doing some drills. We're going to be working some reloads. I want you proficient if you're carrying a gun. So
what's the coolest thing you've learned? An out of the box sort of ideology. So
honestly, it probably wouldn't even come from an actual class I attended. Carrying a 1911, I'm a young guy, but I kind of have a lot of old school mentalities. I'm carrying a friggin' 45 ACP steel frame gun. But Clint Smith does a good bit. The guy that runs Thunder Ranch, old guy, Vietnam vet, does a good bit on just training with whatever gun you have. So whatever you decide that gun to be, whether it's a Glock, a SIG, a 1911, whatever, train with it and be good with it, because you got to be scared of the guy that's really good with his gun. It doesn't matter what that is. I think when he was talking about it, it was a rifle similar to this or a single shot Sharps he was talking about it. But you got to be scared of the guy that's really good with his gun. And that kind of just okay, whatever that gun's going to be, get good with it. So
I like that. That's a pretty cool thought. Food for thoughts.
Because there's so many, you guys know, you sell guns, so there's so many options, and there's so many good options.
There's a lot more good options now than there was.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the compact, even like the compact carry gun market is insane. You can get small frame guns that are carrying 10, 11, 12 rounds. Like, whereas before that wasn't an option. You were stuck with your 5-shot J-frame. Like,
Yeah, I mean, like I don't know if you've ever seen like the Western like competition shooting. Mm-hmm. Like you look at them guys with like a Winchester Model 12.
I wouldn't want to go toe to toe with them.
No, them guys can shoot them guns like.
Or Jerry Mitchell, like how he shoots a wheel gun yet? How old that dude is? Oh, holy smokes! Like, oh, you don't want to break into that dude's house.
Yeah, I'm not taking a Glock against him. No.
Pull that Smith &
that's
Wesson
the point.
500 out and like, ayo.
I kind of need a 300 Win Mag
Yeah.
against Jerry.
I mean, it really comes down to the shooter
600 meters
and
away.
how precise you are with your firearm.
Right.
Precision and speed.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that I think is really important that you touched on briefly was shooting from cover.
Yeah.
Knowing when to use cover. Like,
And what's the difference between cover and concealment?
Yep.
That's
Because
huge.
that car door is not going to protect you. That drives me nuts watching movies.
Yeah.
My wife can't watch movies with me. Because, like, somebody will duck behind the car door, and I'm like, I'd shoot right through that. Like, he's not safe.
Oh, yeah. You mag dump on him.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
She's like, can you just shut up and watch the movie? I'm like, no, there's so much wrong with this scene. Like, he's not safe. That gun's not even cocked. He's out of bullets. Like,
He's holding the gun like this.
yeah, it's terrible. But, like, I mean, you see it in all the action movies. They pop the car door open. They're hiding behind the car door. No, bro. Like, if you're behind that car door, I'm smoking you. Like,
Yep. It's even home clearing, like shooting through doors, drywall.
Yep.
It's not enough cover.
No.
For sure not. So once you're exposed, they know where you're at. That's when it's trouble.
It's game over, buddy.
Yep.
Game over.
double op buck for the win.
Double up buck does the trick.
Through your neighbor's house.
And also, I think it's important to use that pistol to get to a long gun. You know, we carry pistols. All three of us do a regular basis, regular concealment. But you need to have a plan to know, hey, this is just one tool to get me to the baddest tool that I can use.
I think that's a good point, too, even with the pistol, though. Carry the biggest pistol you can carry, because if you have to fight with a pistol, you want a pistol you can fight with. Like, there's a time and a place for small concealment guns. You're dressed up, you're at a wedding, you're wearing nice clothes. I've done it.
Gym shorts.
Gym shorts, yeah, exactly.
Yep.
But if, like, in the day-to-day, if you can carry a big gun with a long sight radius and a good mag capacity, carry that gun.
Wall through PDP.
Yeah, you know, and
Glock 19.
I think that's a good point. Somebody that's a new shooter to the industry should actually be buying a full frame gun. And I'll joke with people. They're like, well, that Glock 17 is a really big gun, or that 1911 is really big, full size. And I'm like, no, it's a pistol, man. Pistols are small firearms. Every pistol
all
is
small.
smaller than
Right.
a shotgun or rifle.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to conceal carry this, man. We know that.
Well,
I mean, might try to, but it's like,
Would be pretty cool.
it'd be awesome. But it's like, look, every pistol is small. When people get in their mindset that they're not going to buy a full size 1911 because they're like, I would never be able to conceal that. I'm like, well, then you obviously have no experience with the proper holster or how to conceal a gun. You don't know what you're doing, because you conceal every day a full size 1911. I've done it. It's in my rotation, a Kimber full size 5-inch 1911. You carry a Walther PDP full size,
full-size
right
gun.
here all the
Yeah.
time. You got to have both. You need to have that big gun. You need to have that small gun for when so you're not gunless, right? Makes sense.
yeah, for my wedding and a couple of weddings I was in, I have a Ruger LCR 357. Small holster. That's one of the few guns I can appendix carry.
357.
Yeah, well, it shoots 38, so why buy the 38?
There,
Like,
right. You buy the
now
357.
she's
Hell yeah.
spicy. After about 15 rounds, the full house 357 out of that, it's like, okay, that's
you feel it.
Yeah, that's
you do feel it in the
That and
wrist.
the powder hitting your forehead.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like,
it's freaking black everywhere. Yeah.
It's a man's gun.
One caveat to what you said about buying a full size 1911, which is kind of one of the other topics, like, you need to spend if you want to buy a 1911. 1911 is not a game for everyone. So, like, and I realize that. So, like, if people ask me, like, I like it, and I shoot a lot with it, so I know I'm good with it, and I trust that gun. But if you buy a cheap 1911, your results aren't going to be that.
If you're in a 1911 market, it's a pay-to-play sport.
Absolutely. You get,
It's pay to play.
what you pay for.
So throw a number out there so the viewers know.
Minimum 14.
Yeah. Yep, $1,400 to $1,500. I mean, I
Agreed.
think when I bought this, and 10, 12 years ago. I think that was like 12, 1300. Now they're obviously closer to 16. But I think if you want a good fighting 1911, you spend in that $1,300 to $1,600 range. I mean, what TRP Operator from Springfield, another great rail gun. They're
Heck of a nice gun.
They're really nice.
I would say entry level, I'd be looking at a Kimber Rapide.
Yep.
Springfield Emissary, because they retail for around like 12.
Yep.
They're on a cheaper end.
Yep.
And then the SIG.
Yeah, the SIG is a
1911.
really
A buddy
tight.
of mine had the SIG.
The SIG 1911s are really...
Emperor, is that
Yeah.
what they were calling them? Yeah.
The SIG is like the AK of 1911s. They're
Yeah.
kind of loose and sloppy,
Yeah.
but dude, they just work.
Yeah. I mean,
because their tolerances aren't
that's loose
super
and sloppy,
tight.
and it runs.
Functions phenomenal.
And good magazines if you're carrying a 1911.
Yeah.
Buy good magazines. Yeah.
Wilson Combat.
Wilson Combat's the only
McCormick.
way to go.
Yep.
Chip McCormick's.
Chip
You
McCormick's.
do all Wilson?
I have a mix. The Chip McCormick 10 rounders don't hold up after a lot of drops on concrete.
I've had
I did
trouble
notice
with
that.
Chip.
I did notice that because they have that like plastic base plate.
Yeah.
I've had a couple of them shoot off like doing indoor range classes, and you drop the mag and then there it goes. So
Yep.
the Wilsons are a little stouter, but they're also, I mean, what's a 10 round?
$15 more.
Yeah, it's a 15 to 18 bucks more per mag, but it's a Wilson. It's a
It's
Wilson.
Wilson Combat. You know.
Or the Wilson 8 rounder.
Yes.
There it is. That's what I use.
What kind of carry ammo are you carrying?
I'm pretty sure these are Federal Hydra-Shocks.
Okay.
I rotate. I like the Federal Hydra-Shocks and I like the Hornady XTP.
Okay.
So I rotate between those two. I tried the Hornady Critical Defense for a while, the ones where it's filled with the polymer.
Mm-hmm.
And I had some like feeding problems because the polymer got like sticky from being like in and close to my body
That's
and getting
common in the
sweaty and
1911.
whatever. Yeah, so I was like, you know what? The OG hollow points can't go wrong with this.
The 45 thing?
Yeah. It's just the angle of the feed ramps on these barrels.
So yeah, but yeah, the Hydra Shocks. That's a nasty round.
Nice. And we're back from another piss break.
And
Sponsored
feeling,
by Liberal Tears.
Yep.
Nice.
feeling good.
I'm feeling pretty good.
Yep.
What are we going to talk about now?
This
I
has
kind
been
of
a
lost
really
track here.
well. This has been a fun.
We've been all over.
Yeah.
Yeah, this has been a fun episode though
It has.
because it's good to get other people's gun insight from. We sell guns. He doesn't sell guns. That's what I like about it. It's
I know,
like,
yeah.
You've sold me.
it's an
You've
outsider
sold me quite a
perspective.
few guns.
I've sold
though.
you a
You've
lot of
sold me
guns.
Quite a few guns.
A lot of guns. Yep. But yeah, let's get into it, man. You want to read off the first question for me?
What is the first gun you've ever bought? We already covered that, obviously. And what is the first gun you've ever had handed down to you, or what gun is more? What's your most important gun? Like, what gun do you have that means the most to you?
Okay, so second to my carry gun, which was tattooed on my arm, is the other gun that's actually tattooed on my arm, which we got over here. So this is a Smith & Wesson 586. This is an original. This isn't one of their reproductions. 8 3/8 barrel, 357. I'm fairly certain this is the first handgun I ever shot as a kid, which is hilarious considering the size of the gun. But that was my dad's. So when he passed away, I got his collection of guns. And I would say that is probably the most important one to me. I mean, obviously it's tattooed on my arm now.
Yeah.
But it's a freaking tack driver. I mean, even with full house 357 loads, the size of that gun, I mean, you can just ring through that cylinder. It's an awesome gun. Smith knows how to build a good revolver. My dad used to have a scope on that. He shot a couple deer with it.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so, I mean...
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a tack driver. It's super fun to shoot.
So for you Smith guys that are listening, this is a 586 no dash.
Yep.
So right now, I think they're into like the dash 4s or something like that.
Yeah.
So
And the bluing looks nowhere near that nice.
Yeah.
yeah, this bluing is gorgeous, man.
And it's been carried.
And it's the old style bluing that Smith used to do.
Yep.
They completely revamped their whole manufacturing process.
Yep, I got the original box for it, and what he paid for that, it makes me sick. But I mean, in a good way. But like what that cost him when he bought it was a lot of money. It was like $350 or something.
Yeah.
Like, man, if I go back in time, I'd be buying a whole bunch
Ooh,
of them.
little ASMR here for the
Well, that's
for the
like
mic.
that's a good point. Anybody that's buying guns, though, when you buy a solid, a good reputable company that's been around a long time,
Yep.
good quality firearm, you're not gonna lose your skin on it, right? The value of the gun's gonna be there, but You're going to lose if you're like a month or two in. You're like, hey, I want to get rid of this and get something else.
That's not how that works.
That's not how it works.
It's a long-term game.
Yeah, if you hang on to a firearm for a long time, it's always going to gain. That's a beauty, man. Thanks for sharing that.
Definitely one of my favorites.
Awesome.
It comes out if we're going to do a revolver shoot or if we're just going to do a non-training shooting day.
I mean, you've used it for training.
Yeah, I not this one
Different
specifically. I have a 686
Okay.
7-shot with a 4-inch barrel.
plus.
That's the one I shot the class with, which oddly enough, like I was able to keep up. Like, I mean, there were some guys shooting shields, so I mean that's a 7-round mag. So it kept close.
Kept up,
yeah. I mean, my reloads were definitely slower, a lot of moving pieces, but
Yep.
I was able to keep up. And by the end of that class, I was like, I could fight with a revolver if I had to. Like,
Yeah, and that's, I think, what you're looking at is if you're in a class like that where you're working with a revolver, you're looking not at what the other people's times are in the class, you're looking at how you do with that firearm and how you can improve on that.
Absolutely.
It's not, and that's something that I think a lot of people struggle with when they get into shooting is that they see other shooters and they're like, oh my gosh, you're
They
so
envy
good at this.
everybody else.
Yeah,
No.
stop doing that. Like, just let it go.
put the blinders
Okay?
on
Let it
and
go.
focus on you.
Yeah. Focus on what you do. Like, I'll tell people, if you knew how many times that I've like drawn my gun from the holster in front of a mirror in my house, I can't even tell you how many times I've practiced that. Like, that's something that you can do dry fire practice at home. You can work on your skill set of your firearm on your own before you get to a shooting range. And like, don't just run to a range and look like a fool.
Right.
Nobody wants to do that. Work on your skills
Yeah,
at home.
don't make an ass out of yourself.
Yeah, work on your skills, you know what I mean, in front of the mirror, work on things, and actually put the time into it. I mean, look, we're talking about tools here that can take someone's life.
Sure.
Or
You got
an
to
animal.
respect the tool.
Absolutely.
You do. But yeah, that's an awesome gun, man. I know that means a lot to you, especially if it's given down from your dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
You know,
awesome.
that's a really cool piece. Thanks for bringing that in.
Absolutely.
So, Travis, how do you, it's because we're in the gun business, but from your standpoint, where you're like, you're a customer, right? You look at all these different companies that bring out all these firearms.
Shot across the room there.
Yeah, shot
Little
like a
homie.
cannon.
Little homie.
Little homie's dinner. He's got energy. How do you view the firearms market and trends right now from your perspective as a potential customer, potential buyer, looking at the trends in the marketplace? How do you view the industry as a whole, like the firearms industry from your viewpoint?
So one of the things, just like full disclaimer, I am a bit of like an old soul when it comes to guns. I like the new stuff, but I like the old stuff too. So it's bad for the pocketbook, but the one thing I see is like there's a lot of like the newest gizmo, the newest caliber, the newest this. There's like a lot of change, and everybody thinks they're doing like the greatest thing ever. And it's like, okay, there's some stuff that's really cool, but like you got to remember, like there's nothing new. Like we were talking about with this, with like the Cowboys used to carry a rifle chambered in the same caliber as their pistol because they wanted to be able to use the ammo in both. And I mean, you see these pistol caliber carbines. That's been a big hot thing lately, which they're awesome. They're fun to shoot. They're cheap to shoot, but like it's not that it's not new technology. Like it's not. I do like how there's companies that are trying to innovate, like, and I don't know if you guys talked about it, but like Ruger coming out with this semi, trying to go after Glock a little bit. I like that there's companies trying to give people options, and I like that there's a lot of good carry guns right now, because it didn't used to be that way. You used to kind of have get your M&P or you get yourself a Glock, and that's kind of like your carry guns.
Yeah.
But now there's a lot of good carry guns, so it kind of fits all the different styles of shooters, and that's what we want. We want people buying guns, and we want people competent with the guns they're buying. So that's kind of what I see. Like the emphasis, not so much on like the new stuff as like we need to make sure we're still focusing on the shooter, like we talked about earlier. Like pick a gun and train with it. It doesn't matter what brand it is, as long as you're good with it and as long as the gun runs. So there's a little caveat there as far as like
buy decent quality.
correct. Don't
cheap out. How
much?
much is your life worth to you? How much?
And I mean,
are you going to spend on a
I mean,
gun?
you can get what a Glock 17 for what, sub $500?
Yeah. Especially used. Buy used.
Right.
Yeah, you can
If
pick
you're on a
up one
budget, buy a
used.
used gun.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
Something
Buy
wrong
good,
with
yeah,
that.
good used M&P, used Glock, used SIG, any of those.
Yeah, I think the trouble is that when people look at it, let's say they're buying a Glock 17, they're looking at buying the gun, and then they're like, well, I should really buy the MOS version, and then it jumps the price up more. and this is how we are as people, right? We see something in life. Yeah, I need a house. But then you go to shop for a house and you're like, oh, well, shoot, I should have this. I should have this. I should have this heating system. And then before you know it, like the budget gets full. I get that. The fact is like, look at what you need to have in a gun. You need reliability. Number one.
It's important.
Yep. Find a reliable.
Gun needs to work.
Yeah,
Yep.
it needs to go boom when you pull the trigger.
And look at, okay, so if you want a gun and you can put a dot on, for example, look at what a new one runs. If you can't afford the new price, wait a month and save that extra $100 up and then do it. Like, what are we're always in this antsy mood where we're like, I had a guy tell me this the other day.
Buy.
Yeah,
Yes.
I had a guy tell me this. He's like, do you have a DDM4 V7 in stock? And I didn't at the time. And he goes, well, if you had one here, I would buy it, but otherwise I'm not interested. And I'm like, really? Like, is that our mentality in life, that if it's not in front of me right now, even though
can't have it.
it's like one of the best AR platform guns right there.
And if that was his mentality, if it was sitting right in front of him and that was the way he thought about it, he wasn't going to buy it.
Yeah,
He just wanted to look at it.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Until he saw the price tag that went along with it. And, oh, maybe I don't want this.
It's yeah.
$2,200. Holy smokes.
Talk is really cheap, right?
Yeah.
But did you guys see this? I got to bring this up because I got this here at the show. Taylor's and Company, they are introducing something very interesting, which is a brand new lever action 9mm. It's the first lever action 9mm.
Not the first.
Lever?
POF made one.
First reputable.
POFs are reputable.
They're
company.
reputable, but that gun was
Trash.
it didn't cycle anything.
And it was hideous.
Yeah.
So they call this.
He's like, hold on, I gotta restart here for a second.
Let me read the brochure here quick.
Reset here. The model's called the TC73. If you want to look that up from Taylor's and Company, it's a pretty impressive. I kind of want. I'm going to reach out to Taylor's.
It's just
or you
really
will.
pretty.
Yeah, it is. It's a beautiful gun.
Yeah.
I think they're retailing. It's kind of pricey.
A lot of their guns are pricey.
It's around
They're
2
nice.
Gs.
Ooh.
But
It's
that
case
being
color,
said,
nice wood, beautiful bluing.
let's get our hands on one. We're gonna send
We'll
out.
get one.
We'll send out to Taylor's. We're gonna ask him to send us one so we can really put it through some paces with some 9mm. See what we think.
Put in the deep freezer.
Yeah, I'm curious if the gun's gonna cycle properly.
Me too. Be
Wanna see
really
it?
sweet if it was magazine fed.
And if it cycles properly, I'll sell them all day for $2,000. I don't care.
yeah.
And people will buy them. It's worth it then. But if it's going to have issues. Now, the one thing that's interesting about this gun, Taylor's does a lot of their work in Italy. But Taylor's is making these guns strictly in the United States. Every single part that comes for these,
didn't
the
know
building
that.
of these rifles is in the United States.
Interesting.
That's pretty
So-
cool. That piques
Yeah.
my interest a little
It's
more.
really cool,
Yeah,
right?
That's awesome.
So when
The Italians make nice guns. though.
They do, yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yep. Italians make a great shotgun. They make great, single action revolvers. Lever guns are really good. But I think it's just interesting that, and that's what is on this brochure, 100% made in the U.S. Every single part, though, they're not actually bringing any parts in from out of the States.
Nice.
So I thought that's really cool.
Trying to compete with Henry a little bit, sounds like.
Yeah.
I don't know. How can
Well,
you compete
not with
with
that-
Henry?
not with
but
that
it's-
gun, but-
No.
No, but the made in the USA kind
Yes.
of thing, because
Yeah.
Henry's what made in the USA or not made at all is their slogan.
New Jersey.
Yep. And it's hard to beat a Henry lever action.
Yeah,
They're so nice.
we bought for my father-in-law's 60th. We bought him just the standard Henry wood and blue in 357. So much fun to shoot. I mean,
Yeah.
absolute blast. I mean, at 100 yards, you can freaking ding steel all day long with it freehand. It's a blast to shoot.
Big boy steel.
And it's cheap to shoot. So
It is. It is. And they're minimal recoil with 38.
Yeah.
even with the
comfortable.
even with
357
357, yeah,
is
we
nice.
ran him off a shot timer to see like the
Yep.
cycle time, and like there again, like just because the gun's old and outdated, like I
pretty fast,
I
yeah.
could get the work done if I needed to. Like
Yeah, I think the lever action's actually making a go at being more of a versatile, defensive firearm
Mm-hmm.
for guys.
It's pretty popular right now.
I mean, I would consider using one as a truck gun.
I mean,
it doesn't.
I would.
So funny you mentioned that. That was the theory with getting my father-in-law his. Going back to he has a Ruger GP 100 and 357. And then
Nice
I'm
gun.
like, you know what? Hey, let's get you a rifle chambered in the same pistol. He drives triaxle, so he's always on the road. And he's like, yeah, like if things got bad enough, he's like, I could throw that lever gun in my truck and nobody's gonna bat an eye at it because it's just an old lever gun. Nobody's gonna even like think twice about it or look
it's not
sideways
black
at it.
and plastic
Yeah,
and
it's
scary
not. It's
looking.
not scary.
You know,
Nah, I like the scary guns too, so I can't say
we
anything there.
love the scary guns.
I love the scary guns, but you can fight with them. Like, you can, if you spend the time with it, everything's a defensive tool if you make it.
Yeah, and keep in mind that, I mean, it's going to work.
Yeah.
It's going to cycle. You know, you can have issues with semi-automatic firearms that you've got to deal with then.
True.
Lever gun, it's going until it's empty. For a good, reputable lever gun.
Yes.
As we know.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about some scary guns.
I like scary guns.
So
All right.
what's a scary gun, Travis? When you think of a scary gun, what's a scary gun to you?
Anything that's black, it's scary.
I like it.
What?
No, I
Pause. Repeat.
that's what
Going to get canceled for that comment.
That's what the
if it's black, it's scary.
That's what the politicians tell us. If the
True,
gun's
true,
black,
yeah.
it's scarier automatically
Yeah.
because it's a black rifle, right?
True.
But no,
That's an assault rifle.
yeah. I own quite a few of the scary guns. So
Same.
yeah, couple of them have been built, couple of them have been bought. So, and I shoot them quite a bit too, because that when it comes down to a defensive tool, if stuff does go sideways, that's the gun I'm going to grab.
Yep.
Lots of ammo, lightweight, and really good cycle time. You can send a lot of lead if you have to.
What's your scary gun, man? Like, what do you think of when you think someone's like,
Dude,
hey,
when I think of
guns.
a scary gun, I have like a 38-inch goose gun. It's a bolt action 12 gauge. I think scary looking.
3.5 inch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's scary.
It's an old Marlin.
Nice.
This is freaking weird, man.
It's weird. That's so weird. You said 38-inch?
Yeah, it's like a 38-inch barrel.
Do they use it like for like the card shoots? Was it like a custom built
No,
gun?
it's for geese.
But it's a bolt action?
Yeah.
That's weird. Wow. That's a weird gun.
It's my great-grandfather's gun.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
It doesn't
So it's
even
an
fit in a safe. It's that tall. It's like, it's
Yeah.
massive.
That's cool.
It's not really that scary, but...
Well,
Yeah.
if
when
we're
you
talk-
said scary gun, I'm like, I think it's like scary.
well, if we're talking
huge.
that kind of scary, I bought a Smith & Wesson 460. That son of a gun's scary. Like, I've shot some big bore revolvers. That thing's next level. Like,
Yeah, 460's a nasty caliber.
when you shoot
It's
that,
worse
like,
than a 500.
oh,
Yeah.
it's so much hotter. Like, you feel the percussion in your chest when you shoot that. It's
Yeah.
awesome. Like, it's invigorating. Like,
Gets you.
yeah.
Gets you moving.
Exactly, yeah.
Let's shoot some more.
That's
I just
right.
loaded some 500 Smith & Wesson the other day.
That's what you were saying, yeah.
Yeah.
Hot loads? No.
Medium.
Under, yeah.
500 special.
What's your scary gun?
I mean, are we talking what we own as scary guns?
Yeah.
Well, I kind of misinterpreted it because black guns aren't scary. But when he said
No.
his scary gun, I was like, oh, I got one like
Well,
that.
I kind of like went off the other
Yeah.
spectrum.
So my perspective, when I think of a scary gun, I think of like a Barrett.
Okay.
I'm thinking like
Yeah.
a 50 cal.
So
That's
there's a theme here between all the ones we just said. They're all insanely large weapons.
Yes.
yeah, insanely large caliber.
A 38-inch goose gun, Barrett.
Yeah. Yeah, I recall we were shooting a Barrett this one time, and we shot these bowling pins, and these things flew up in the air like 80 yards.
I believe it.
And it didn't actually break the bowling pin, which a lot of guys would be shocked to find that out, but it threw it so high in the air, and then it hits. I mean, you wouldn't want to be under it.
What was the
I want to catch it.
what was
Yeah.
the percussion like being around one of those when? Because I've never shot one.
Yeah,
of those.
so it's
like,
a full out like shockwave. That's the best way I can say it.
Yeah, I mean, I know they had that nasty break on the front.
Yeah, and it does. I mean, it is a pleasant round to shoot with the brake.
It's
As
really
long
not
as you're
that bad.
as long as you're not
Don't
next to the gun.
You want to be on a semi-auto Barrett though. You don't want to shoot a bolt. You know,
have
you're
the
going to
re-
feel a
have the
lot of the
recoil
recoil.
system
Yeah,
I
it up.
shot one of those bolt action Steyrs in 50.
Ooh,
it'll wake up the entire
It's-
neighborhood.
Yeah.
I like it.
Which is
Perfect home defense.
It's spicy, man.
look, it's
It
a
is
tool.
spicy.
It's a tool made to stop a vehicle, or
It-
if you do an incendiary
Yeah.
round, you can blow up a helicopter or a plane. Like there's a purpose for it.
Yeah.
If you need to take down your neighbor's refrigerator
yeah,
from 2 miles away,
it will do it.
it'll do it.
or if the burglar's trying to hide behind a refrigerator.
Correct.
Yeah, that's not happening, bud.
So, Travis, on the subject of ARs, what does your ideal AR setup look like?
I should have brought one along. Pretty simple. I'm kind of old school with that, so like I keep trying to keep things minimalist. So like most of my ARs, I like low variable power optics, so like 1-6s, 1-8s, and then usually run offset irons on 45 that way. You know, if something goes sideways with your scope or gets cloudy or the reticle falls out or whatever, you got another way to shoot. So that, I think you guys talked about like upgrading the charging handle. That's a must as soon as you buy a gun. If it doesn't come from BCM, like it's getting a BCM charging handle. And then good weapon light. And then I run a stubby vertical foregrip because I like pulling it against, and then pressure pads up on top for your thumb. So just pretty sleek, pretty simple.
What kind of optic? What brand do you usually lean towards?
Vortex is pretty much what most of mine are. The Strike Eagle's on one. Is the Viper the like next tier up from the Strike Eagle?
Yep.
So I have a Patriot Ordnance Factory 308 Revolution, I think is what that one is. So that one I spent for the good glass on that one because it's more of an expensive gun. But all my ARs, whether it's 308, 300 Blackout, whatever, they're all set up almost identical. The only difference would be a couple of the guns have stream lights, and then one of my guns has the Cloud Defensive Rain, I think 3.0. So the weapon light varies a little bit, but the setup's all pretty much the same. 1-6 or 1-8, offset irons, charging handle, BCM stock. I know you mentioned BCM one of the episodes, and I'm like, man.
I love BCM
What do you
parts.
use for triggers? Are you just mil-spec or?
So the Patriot Ordnance Factory one, that's a really nice trigger from the factory. Left that one alone. Geisley, I have a Geisley flat trigger in one of mine, and they're just, I mean,
It's night and day.
like when they talk about the binary trigger and stuff like that, I'm like, I don't need that. I shoot a Geisley flat 3.5 pounder. We have pictures of me shooting, and there's like 15 empty brass casings in the air in the photo frame, like just fast and flat. So Geisley's in a bunch of them, and then I think I have a CMC in one of my guns that I built.
Nice.
So, but they're all like 3.5 to 4 pound. Nothing. I don't like anything lighter than that.
What about a Q trigger?
I know you guys were talking about. that.
It's the best trigger in the world.
I don't know, man.
It's funny, man.
That Geisley flat trigger.
Yeah, it's that and Timney.
Yeah. Yeah, we sold a Q the other day, and the dude was like, well, he's like, I really was thinking this trigger might be one of the better ones, but he's like, I still like my Geisley the best.
Yeah, you have to spend for a Geisley, but there ain't nothing better.
Yeah.
In the AR trigger world, in my opinion.
Now, he bought the Q rifle because he's like, every AR that I have is black. He bought a Sugar Weasel. It had that, like it's that
gray rail.
Yeah, and he, and the cherry bomb in the end gets people too, man. They like that.
It's a gray rail with like a Pop-Tart colored upper and lower. It's pretty sexy.
It's a sexy package, no doubt.
Pop-Tart color is the best way to describe it. It looks like a Pop-Tart.
But if cost wasn't an option for an AR, I'd like to have that safety switch go the whole way around. That would be if money wasn't an object. But the gun would still be set up the same way, but having that...
There's a way of doing that without making that safety switch go all the way around.
Exactly. There's a way. But even with that, though, like, I talked to people about that, and, like, when the whole thing was going on with the binary triggers and whatever, and I'm like, listen, like, you spend and put a good trigger in, my cycle rate's going to be just as good, and I'm going to be way more accurate.
Yeah. I'm not into the full auto stuff at all.
I like it in principle because if they can have it, I should have it, but that's about it.
Yeah, the functionality of the combat effectiveness is just not there.
Yeah. No. You talk to like any like operator that did like actual work.
Yeah.
None of them use full auto ever.
Do you shoot suppressed? You didn't say anything about
Oh,
suppressed.
actually, yeah, I do have. I don't think you did. You do the paperwork? You might have sold them to me.
I might have sold them to you, but I can't recall. What are you running?
Me and my dad both got them at the same time. Dead Air Armament Sandman S.
This is my favorite.
So one of them, I swapped the end piece out to a straight 223 for running on an AR. Quiets down a little bit, and then I have a 300 Blackout pistol that goes in a backpack. So the other can has the 30 cal.
Did you see a new Sandman that came out?
I didn't.
With the shorter break.
I did not. Dude, that break.
True North Concepts came out with a new muzzle device for them.
Okay.
It's supposed to be shorter. It's only compatible with the new Sandman they're making, but
okay. Yeah, I love that setup. Their break's good as a standalone, like shooting without it, and then that just slide on there and a couple turns over.
Well, the nice thing about their setup is their break has like that little ramp on there, so your can never gets carbon locked onto the muzzle device. It just comes right off on like a Surefire. You got to like mortar that thing off and shoot it off,
Yeah. But yeah, I've been very happy with the cans.
Shooting a suppressor.
Yeah. Did we talk about that in an episode
I don't
yet?
think we talked about it.
Yeah, let's talk about that quick, because
Yeah,
that is
talk about it.
really funny.
Tell the story.
There was a guy at the range, man. He bought this brand new Surefire can, spent like $2,000 on it. I'm like,
Pricey.
okay. And I told him, I asked the guy, I'm like, do you need a muzzle device for that? You know, put it on. No, I got one. I got a Surefire muzzle device already on it. He's in the range shooting his gun, puts the suppressor on, just like pushes it on. So it was a generic Surefire muzzle device, not the QD ones.
So where'd the suppressor go?
Downrange. Well, get this. He did it once. Then he did it a second time. No duct tape or anything. 2 times in a row, he shot that thing
That's
down.
insane.
That's crazy.
Like, what are you doing? And
$2,000 lawn dart.
yeah. And he like gouged like a big old hole in the side of the suppressor from hitting concrete. I'm like,
Bro.
That's a hard lesson to learn.
yeah. He was pretty salty about it. I'm like, dude, I asked you if you need
Yeah,
muzzle
so-
device.
Some people.
Whatever.
Live and learn.
Yeah, live and learn. What about the next topic? What do you want to get into?
Yeah, so let's talk about. So Travis, you talked about your AR setup and stuff. Do you do your work yourself when you customize and modified your guns?
So I've done a mix of both. I have a Daniel Defense, the Daniel Boone rifle.
No, it's...
that I got from my dad because he had bought that. And that I left that pretty much alone. Other than I think I put a Geisley in that because it just had the standard like mil spec. So, but that one I left alone. That was pretty much out of the box and kept it the way it was. But I built off an 80% lower. So did one like that. I like buying stuff from BCM. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll build the lower in its entirety and then just go on BCM and you can pick all the options and rail length and key mod, M-lock, whatever you want. And then my 300 blackout pistol that I built start to finish from scratch, everything upper and lower. So
Sweet. You have a whole gun setup at your house, like a vise to work from and stuff?
I have this little bench thing that I like rigged up a vise in the end so I can sit on the bench and the vise is right there. So like that's,
Yep.
I mean, I'm a contractor, so there's constantly tools floating around. So, but yeah, I have like this bench thing rigged up with a vise. So it's a spot. I haven't built anything lately, but those are the ones that most of my ARs have been messed with.
What's your next build going to be?
I don't know.
6mm arc.
No,
It's too weird.
No, I'm not.
No, it's not.
I'm
Yes,
not.
it
I'm kind of a FUD when it comes to the calibers. Like, leave it alone with the OG calibers. I don't know. I'm pretty good with the AR setups I have right now.
Do you have any precision guns, man? We didn't talk about that. I'm
So
curious.
That's one of the things. I don't have any. I mean, I have a couple 300 Win mags that can shoot if I need to, but there's no like dedicated precision setup. So that's something that's on the list of things to either build or get into. But before that, I want to buy a really good 1911, like a semi-custom, something like that. So that's probably
Ed
the
Brown, Nighthawk, something like that?
either
or-
Wilson Combat or there's a company, Alchemy Custom Weaponry. I don't know if you've heard of them. The guy running their YouTube channel's hilarious, and they build a really, really nice gun. So they might have actually inched in front of Wilson Combat. So
You got your attention.
yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. They're an offshoot of Cabot 1911s, which Cabot just builds crazy stuff,
Phenomenal,
like way out of my price range. But Alchemy,
it's a little bit above Nighthawk.
yeah, well, you know, when they're building 1911s with meteoroid grips on them, like, yeah. But I think that would be the next thing on the list. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I kind of want to handle one now.
So
Yep.
do I. So, but yeah, I would say a custom 1911 is the next thing on my purchase list.
Nice.
So I've kind of worked through the list in the back of your head of like the old stuff I want. Like I was able to score a Colt Python, an original, a couple years ago. Built in '58, so like one of the like really low serial.
It's a cool
number.
gun.
Yeah, I mean, talking about the bluing and the craftsmanship, just absolutely gorgeous, like gorgeous. Smith & Wesson Model 29, I was able to score one of those, like the typical like old guy
Yep.
collection you want. I would say one of the coolest things I was able to score. You actually sold it to me, a Colt Delta Elite in a blued one though, not a stainless, a blued one, in 10 mil, and that.
I've sold you guns that I don't recall selling you, Travis.
Well, it's been a while.
It's a problem, but it's a good problem to have, right? Yeah.
So
Gun addiction.
We touched so many guns.
very much. Sorry.
Dude, that sounded so messed
Why
up.
did you just add that in randomly?
We just go
touch
through
guns.
so many guns.
We do, actually, yeah. Dude, this has been a fun episode, and I think we're going to call it here, but thanks for being a part of this, Travis. I appreciate you making the trip out and getting in here live for this, which has been awesome. And for the viewers watching, if you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button so you can be prepared when the next episode hits. We'll have possibly another special guest the next time, so we're working on that. And if you're listening on Spotify, what else is it on?
Apple, iHeartRadio,
iHeart, any one of those. We
Something
appreciate you so much for doing that. Visit our website, thefirearmfiles.com. Hit us up if you need a gun, or you want a gun, or you think we're awesome and you want to support our business, because we would appreciate that so much. And do you have anything to say, dude?
I think that's it, man.
Yeah.
I say we just
sign out.
we roll it, man.
Let's do it.
Make like a baby and head out.
Let's go.
That's right.
Let's get funky.
Funky ending.
Let's get funky.